Today, we'll take a stroll through the 2026 governor's prediction for the month of May. There's not really many changes since I did this a couple of months ago. We're still coming into a bunch of primaries. Plenty of races still totally unsettled. Certain primary polls in some of these states have two, three, maybe even four candidates, not even at 20% of the vote. So over the next couple of months, we'll get a better idea. But let's start with the safe states. These are expected to be over a 10-point margin or are otherwise not competitive. Let's start with the Dems. First, easy call. We've got Hawaii. Then it's California. I think it's very unlikely two Republicans make the general. And if it's only one, like Steve Hilton, then Dems are going to be heavily favored, even if the state ends up moving right. Then it's Colorado. Then we've got Minnesota. Amy Klobuchar likely to hit 10 points here. Then we've got Illinois. Then on the East Coast, it's New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Maryland. Not much to say about those states. Those are just bluer states, and the Republicans have a weaker bench. Now, the safe states for the Republicans. We've got Idaho, Wyoming. South Dakota could have an interesting primary, but it's going to be safe. Then it's Nebraska, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Tennessee, and Alabama. Now, could something happen in one of these states, especially with a third party challenger? Yeah, it's always possible, but that's what future prediction videos are for. This is going to factor in what looks likely right now. Now, the likely states, these are between a 5 and a 10-point margin or are semi competitive. First, for the Dems on the West Coast, it's Oregon. This is high single digits. It's Tina Kotek possibly having a rematch against Christine Drazan. Kotek, not the most popular incumbent, but in a blue leaning environment, I don't think Drazan is going to be able to get it done if she didn't get it done last time. In New Mexico, it's an open seat, but Dems going to be clearly favored here. Then on the East Coast, we've got Maine. It's another open seat, tons of questions on both sides of the aisle. But in this environment, in this blue-leaning state, right now Dems have a likely rating. Then we've got Rhode Island. This I almost took up to safe because it looks like incumbent Dan McKee likely not to be the nominee again. He's unpopular. Republicans here have a weak bench, so maybe a little bit generous here, but it's going to be likely. Finally, it's Pennsylvania. This one you could also make a case for going up to safe. Josh Shapiro, he's popular, he's inoffensive. It's a blue-leaning year. Republicans don't have a terrible candidate in Stacey Garrity, but I don't see how she's going to take down Shapiro. This is going to be high single digits. Now, the likely states for the Republicans. First, we've got Alaska. This one also has a lot of questions. It's a top 4 ranked choice primary. It's a difficult state to poll, but I've got to see what happens. For now, it's going to be likely in this open seat. Then it's Texas. Here's Greg Abbott, and it's not a guarantee he wins another term, but it is going to be fairly likely. Then we've got Florida. Here's an open seat. The state has gotten so red, it's easy to underestimate the Republicans here the last few elections. I assume it's going to be Donald's probably against David Jolly. In that matchup, it's going to go likely for the Republicans. Next, it's South Carolina. Here's an open seat. It's a big battle here for the Republican nomination. It could be Nancy Mace. It could be somebody else. It's a fairly red state. Dems don't have any kind of a rock star candidate of their own. So this is going to be high single digits and go likely. In the northeast corner, we've got Vermont and New Hampshire. It's only 2-year terms here in both of these states. And in Vermont, it all depends on if Phil Scott runs again. If he does, it's going to be extremely safe. If he doesn't, it could be competitive. Dems could easily pick it up. In New Hampshire, Kelly Ayotte, the first-term Republican governor, she's carved out more of a moderate path. It seems like she's going to be able to hold on by over 5%. Now, the most competitive states, lean are under 5%, tilt are 1% or less. First, it's Nevada. Here, I think Joe Lombardo is a little bit favored, but far from a guarantee in this purple state over Aaron Ford. In Arizona, here, I think Katie Hobbs is a little bit more favored than Lombardo is in Nevada. Both of these states, I think the incumbents benefit from divided government, but I don't think Andy Biggs is a super strong candidate, and that's why Hobbs has an advantage. Next, it's Kansas, and this is an open seat after outgoing 2-term Democratic incumbent Laura Kelly. If you don't think Dems can win here, they just did it in the last 2 elections. But it seems more likely than not that this state is going to flip back to its normal partisan lean. In Iowa, the expected matchup is Randy Feenstra against Rob Sand, and we can combine this with Ohio, where it's Ramaswamy against Acton. Both of these states have open seats. Both of them were highly competitive in the last blue wave of 2018. Dems look like they could easily pick both of them up, but Republicans prevailed. So it's kind of the same dynamic here, but right now I think Republicans have an edge. They're both going to go leans. Now let's do Wisconsin and Michigan, another couple of states with a couple of open seats. Still questions about who the nominees are going to be, especially in Wisconsin for the Dems, and maybe even now with the Republicans in Michigan. Either way, Dems should be a little bit more favored here than not. They're going to get it with a lean rating. The last state is Georgia. This is probably the closest call out of all of them. It's another open seat. Brian Kemp, he's done. The primaries are coming up, but there's still some questions here. The state has got a lot bluer. It could easily flip this election. So we'll see what happens. But for now, I'm going to keep my rating the same. I'm going to give it to the Republicans with a tilt rating. So that's the map. We've got 27 seats for the Republicans, 23 for the Dems. Dems have several pickup opportunities on the table. Republicans have a few as well, but because of the national environment, it looks like those are going to be a little bit tougher. So you could go on and on about this. You could always come up with a fringe scenario. But for now, this is what I've got for the 26 governor's prediction as of May. So let me know in the comments. How does your map look as of right now? What do you think is going to change? Let me know down below on your way out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Join if you'd like to support the channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.